out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. When the lights are out and you stumble in the dark, you kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
From Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Racers Elite Cup Series is ready to rock and roll at the Roval here in Concord, North Carolina. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to week number 3 of our fresh season of the Racers Elite Nextgen Cup Series. All things considered, it's been a very exciting year so far. A couple of different winners, a couple of different races, and here we are at the Roval, a very unique and hybrid kind of location, right here in the shadow of all that is NASCAR and just a short drive away, of course, from our Hall of Fame. I'm Dave Regal alongside my broadcast partner extraordinaire, Mr. Jordan Brockell, and a pair of sad Phillies fans are ready to rock and roll with you here on Sim Racing Media, where we'll be with you through it all, from the green flag to the checkered flag right here on SRM. And folks, want to welcome everybody into the youtube.com live chat. We want to welcome you in, of course, to the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth as we get ready to rock and roll tonight. And Jordan, it's always good on a Thursday when you and I get to hang out.
I mean, I wouldn't have a Thursday any other way except right beside you. The only thing that sucks is, you can't take me out to dinner before we do these broadcasts. So if you add that in, I think it would be probably the best night that I could possibly have anywhere, anytime. So,
are you saying that I have to take you out to dinner before you get screwed? Is that the tenor there?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I feel like it would be a good way and respectful way to love me and show me that you care about me.
You just make sure to turn around and give me that wink when things get ready to roll. As right now, qualifying underway. John Ross sitting top time right now. As we're getting ready to grid, qualifying has officially wrapped up, which, don't get me wrong, that's a blessing in and of itself. Let's get down here to the racetrack as we pull up our grid information. Here is John Ross, as we're going to fade this music the rest of the way out. John Ross and Ed Yergin going to sit on the front row. They're going to be joined with Andrew Teft and Lee Campbell in row number 2. Then it looks like it's going to be Nash Pointer and Leroy Koblenz. They're going to be in row number 3, while row 4 is going to feature Rob Yost and Dennis Kane. Of course, Dennis Kane, a longtime driver here in this series, and I can't wait to see what he does tonight, as our starting top 10 is going to be rounded out by Shay Cox and Alex Teft. Alan Bergen, the Alan experience, and believe you me, it is an experience. I owe this man a huge favor after bailing me out the other night, falling asleep at the microphone on Tuesday, so I owe him one, that's for sure. Alan's going to be starting on the inside of row number 6 alongside of Brendan Wilcox. Row 7 going to feature Troy Thomas and Kensley Smith, while of course we see Aaron Marquis and William Skinner in row number 8 with Truth Hoke in row 9. Row 10 going to feature Mr. Matt Metler, of course the voice alongside yours truly here of Sunday Night NASCAR Cup Series action. He's going to start in 19th with Kirby Wayne Scott starting in 20th, and starting shotgun on the field tonight, Dave Mayberry. I miss Mayberry sitting on the porch drinking ice-cold cherry Coke. That's what he says tonight as John Ross waits for the iRacing.com pace car to give them the signal to get ready to roll. It's going to be 45 laps tonight. Cautions are going to be turned off because we are on a road course setup here. So that'll make things interesting as drivers are now getting ready to come off of pit road. Let's take a look at our race info. 85 degrees the outdoor ambient air temperature tonight, 116 degrees on the asphalt. That's going to make things nice and loose through the oval section of our race, but at the same time, it's also going to allow for some slip sliding on the road portion. Of course, as you can see here on the map, we're going to have a normal turn 1 and 2-ish, as the entrance to turn 1 is going to actually be where pit road would exit, and turn 3 and 4 is almost normal-ish, and that, of course, going to be changed by a chicane on either side of turn 3 and turn 4 with that bus stop in the back. And believe you me, watching these guys come down toward the bus stop all night long, we're going to watch a lot of drivers overshoot this thing. I know that a lot of these guys are really skilled when it comes to road course racing, but I don't care who you are. This place is about to give people heart attacks.
Oh, without a doubt, and it's a technical track. I mean that goes without really needing to say, especially in a car like this Nextgen, where it always seems to be on the edge, and it never seems like it's really ever in the track. you know, I could get around here in the Gen 6, not fast, but, you know, respectably. But in this next gen car, I cannot get around this track in a clean manner whatsoever unless I, you know, do 3/4 throttle through 90% of this track. So really, whoever is able to put down the power the best here is going to be the guy that walks away with the checkered flag tonight.
And here we see the drivers coming through turns 1 and 2. This would be Roval turn 9. But who's counting? Believe you me, it's not going to be me. I lose count in these road course races for which turn is which number. Good Lord.
I mean, I'm still counting on the count from Sesame Street to learn my numbers, so don't expect me to count anything.
1 turn. Something else we're going to see tonight here as we go on board. Right here on the right-hand side, 4, 3, 2, 1, as we ride on board right now with Lee Campbell. This is going to be their signals of when they need to start braking and when they're coming into the chicane as we do work our way through there now. It's going to be very interesting, especially the opening laps here, what we're going to be seeing as far as these drivers working their way through.
Yeah, and I mean, that one in itself is tricky because you get all the speed from that, you know, turns 3, 4, all the way to, you know, mostly down the backstretch. You know, this portion here where you're coming towards the tri-oval or dogleg and going into the straightaway, that's where it's a little simpler.
And as the iRacing.com pace car peels on down pit road, we're ready to turn them loose. The only thing that's left to do is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab them iced honey buns, a hot coffee, and settle in. Race fans, it's show time! Green flag in the air. Let's roll at the Roval.
Yeah. Oh, there's a spin already. It looks like the number 5 of Nash Pointer.
That would be Nash here. Let's take a quick look. We're going to be doing a lot of replays tonight, folks, as, of course, a lot of this is going to be reactionary. Here comes the 5 down into the heartburn turn, and there comes the rear end. Good Lord. Like the man said one more time, Air Marquis now falling victim here. Let's see what happened with Aaron. Yep, same deal. Watch him come into the... Yep. Hey. That's the cold tire bug against some hot asphalt.
Yeah, and at least for him, I mean, there's a little bit more space to get around. But, you know, where Nash was, he's kind of just victim of just having to sit still right where he is and hope that everybody can get around him and then spin around.
Drivers getting themselves up to speed here on lap number 1. John Ross already opening up a 1.5 second lead as we come through turn number 17. He's on his way back to the starter, and he's going to get credit for leading lap number 1. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Let us know who you're watching, what you're watching for, and who you're cheering for here on the racetrack tonight. We want to thank you for welcoming us into your homes, onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. And the Allen experience, did you see what he put in the live chat, Jordan?
Oh, I answered it. I said I want to report
I see
Allen
that now.
I said I want to report Allen now.
I will. Can we report a moderator? I'll do it.
Oh, I mean, it gives me the option to report him.
I'll do it. Don't make me. You've been
wonder
warned.
I wonder if even though we're in the booth, we're allowed to protest.
That's a protest.
Like, through iRacing, you know, like be like, hey, this guy said something bad about the Phillies, just to waste their time, and hopefully they send him some emails.
Watching these cars work their way through the chicane, this is kind of an interesting angle where we can see all of them working their way through here. Nobody is really side by side right now. This is not exactly a, let's just say, a course of attrition. Unless you're a road course whisperer, this isn't going to be the one. Ross just laid down fast time at 1 minute 22.12 seconds. He went purple. looks like about your top 5, almost top 6, now 7, have all laid down their fast times at 1 minute 26.52 as we work lap number 3. You know, I don't know how you feel about the Roval here at Charlotte, or of course the Daytona road course, but I feel like Junior Johnson has to be rolling over in his grave, and Humpy Wheeler, who is a long-time, NASCAR promoter, has got to be throwing up right now.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, with this car specifically, I like having these road courses, but I mean, the heart of NASCAR was you had 2 road courses. It was Infineon, Mount Sonoma, and then Watkins Glen. I mean, I know they had other ones before I was even thought in my parents' brain, but those for me were the long time only 2 road courses that they had, and I was fine with that. 2 of those road courses, perfect. The rest was all ovals. But throwing in Coda and everything for this specific car, I don't mind as much as some people.
We were just taking a look here at Matt Metler, who lives in Port St. Lucie, Florida. And he is my mom's favorite driver. I've told him that's just fine by me. But I want to say how glad I am that Matt and his family are safe after, after the storm that just rolled through Florida, devastating most of the Sunshine State. I mean, it just took a big wet bite out of that peninsula.
Yeah, it absolutely. I mean, they got hit twice too. I mean, I don't remember the first one, but the name of the first one. But that first hurricane and then Milton going through it. I mean, it's just I can't imagine.
Taking a quick look here, Kensley Smith out of Tarboro, North Carolina. He got a little loose coming through Heartburn Corner. And that's not usual for Kensley Smith.
No,
Usually
not at all. He's been having a rough 2 days. At least Tuesday night, had a rough night on Tuesday night in the Truck Series. Ended up early. Oh, big smack to the wall there. Ended up a couple laps down early on Tuesday, and then never really recovered, and then now here.
Well, taking a closer look here at Kensley, you got to believe at this point that he's just got to get himself kind of lined back up in here as he comes into that rear chicane. Ho! Who dat? That was Bill Skinner. And this is one of the things that we're going to see. A lot of these drivers get themselves real hot. And he had way too much on this thing, and you can't dirt track it, and you certainly can't park there.
Yeah, I think the big thing is timing your downshifts a little bit more. If you downshift just before you're going to turn into the corner, you're going to bring up that wheel speed, and you're going to end up losing it. It looks like the 41 also slid around there. Aaron Marquis slid through Heartburn turn once again as well.
Truth Hoke did a really nice job keeping it off the wall.
Yeah, that's not easy to do. I mean, we saw how Brad Keselowski and those guys, one of those years, ran through that turn way faster than ever, and everybody missed the corner. So it's not a surprise people missed that corner, but it's certainly a surprise when they don't make contact with anything.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that Clean Car is going to win tonight. As we take a look here at Leroy Koblenz, here in his rookie season with the Cup Series. Right now he's trailing Dennis Kane in the 4, and they're one of the closer battles out here on the racetrack, only separated by about a half second.
Yeah, and I mean that's going to be one of those things where we're going to see these people really spread out. Going to have almost like it's like Daytona after pit stops, where there's these small little packs. We're going to have a bunch of little packs throughout the entirety of this race.
One of the things I like about this place is that it doesn't look like a deserted wasteland like Sonoma, and it's not in New York like Watkins Glen.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the center of racing too. So I mean, you're right there in Charlotte. So I mean, it's a big deal because I mean you're in NASCAR country doing a road course. So I mean, yeah, you're gonna have your people who don't love it and people who do love it. But for me, I mean, I feel like it brings in a whole new audience as well. You know, you get the IMSA guys that come over and want to watch them, and you get the F1 guys who want to come over and watch. And you know, it really exposes them to what a class of drivers is in NASCAR, and that it's not just a bunch of left turns.
No, but for the fans, especially the local ones here in this area, they have to be going out here looking, going, "What you doing? Making them right turns? What's that?"
Why did I feel like you sounded like a great value Kermit the Frog?
A great value because, hi ho, Kermit the Frog here, watching the Racers of the Cup Series.
Yeah, it sounds like I mean, that one sounded better, but the first one sounded like great value Walmart.
Well, that was kind of, I was making an attempt there to be a Gomer Pyle. Golly. Shazam.
You got no gas in it.
I know what's wrong
That's
with
what,
it. It ain't
that's what comes to my mind all the time is ain't got no gas in it.
Ain't got no gas in it.
Oh, Lord. Sometimes I wonder why anyone wants to listen to me on a Tuesday or a Thursday or Friday.
The people love it. At least 18 of them. Thanks, folks.
Yeah,
Call a friend. You know, I swear when I call the green flag, I say, grab some popcorn, call a friend, settle in. I don't see a whole lot of people calling a friend. Andrew Teft here in the 98 out of Hope Valley, Rhode Island. He's running P2 right now. Look at the gap between himself and John Ross. See that right there? 17.3 seconds. I think it's time to ask the question as we're 8 laps in. How many laps before he starts, let's just say, edging in here on Diego?
I mean, I don't think it's going to take long. I think he's going to be there in a matter of time. It's just, my thing is how long till he starts to fall off maybe? Is he pushing too fast, too hard, or what? Because I mean, he's his fastest time is almost a full, or is over a full second, I believe. Yeah, over a full second faster than Andrew Teft. So I mean, is he burning up stuff too quickly and wasting a bunch of stuff to get out to that 17-second lead, now down to a 16.8 second lead? So I mean, Andrew Teft is the king of saving and making things work longer than needed. So it's a matter of time to see if Ross is overusing his stuff.
Well, we've already got easy. We've already got 1, 2, 3 drivers down a lap as John Ross just served lunch to Alan Bergen, Diego Rodriguez, and Kirby Wainscott. And don't look now, but next on the menu for John Ross is going to be Bill Skinner. And not a whole lot of time separating these two drivers. Just saying.
Yeah, no, not at all. And I mean, at this point, he took. I mean, he must be listening to us because I said, he lost a little bit of time to Andrew Teft, and now he's pulled it back out to almost 17.5 second lead.
Andrew Teft running in P2. Here's Rob Yost Jr. We'll take a look at him out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, representing the 717 and the beautiful state capital of the Keystone State.
When you said that, all I can think of is everybody from 313, put your hands up and follow me.
Nobody's following me to the 717, believe me.
No, and I mean, why would anyone go willingly up to 313? But no,
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania is home to the world's longest stone arch bridge, by the way. It spans the Susquehanna.
Are you just a knowledge or a wealth of knowledge of useful or useless things?
Yeah, I am a wealth of useless knowledge.
I was trying to give you the useful, but I can't say it's useful.
No, but I'm telling you right now, if you and I are riding across this bridge, and as soon as we cross onto it, I'm telling you that this is the world's longest stone arch bridge.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely tell that also I have a lot of useless knowledge, and I feel like my knowledge, when I do actually remember it, thanks, brain, brain damage. When I do remember things, it's not usually anywhere near relevant to what we're talking about, nor does it make any sense, and it's pretty useless to know.
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Honeybug, squirrel.
I mean, 100%. That's me.
You know what? I'm proud of that though, because you know if you're on a road trip with somebody, doesn't even have to be anybody specific. I'm just saying, if you're on a road trip with somebody and you happen to cross into something exciting, like the world's second largest ball of twine, you want to know where you're at,
No, absolutely. But,
and I just forgot the name of the elephant in Margate City.
I also think it's dangerous to go on road trips with me because I'm one of those guys that like zone out and I'm like, how the hell did I get to this position? Because I have not been paying attention for the last like 5 miles.
Here we are running 7th position with Dennis Kane. Let's go on board here. Take a look at this lap, Jordan. Now we're rolling out of turn 4, back onto the front chicane. We're going to see him kiss that curb. There it is. Bump, 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 bump. Let's go on a ride here with Dennis. He's got a little bit of traffic around him out of Detroit, Michigan. Dennis going to make it through Heartburn Corner. They build this little bridge here. I love this. I absolutely love this. And then come into the Bank of America carousel. I mean, getting through this thing, this is not easy. And look at Kane starting to close in on the 3 of Troy Thomas. There is a weird little battle that is starting to form between these literally 5 cars. Here comes Alan Bergen. There goes Alan Bergen. Now Dennis gets a little tight here. Like a tiger.
That spot right there is a very crucial spot where you can kind of take the weight off the back end of the car and kind of lose it. You go over that little bit of a crest, and then you got to try to keep it under you and then blow it up really good to go to this 3 and 4 down the backstretch to that bus stop.
Speaking of which, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here comes the bus stop in the middle of the backstretch. And you don't think that paint is that slippery. I'm telling you right now. As we get, oh wow, look at that. Dennis Kane passing Lee Campbell for 6th position while we ride on board. They're suddenly side by side here. Check this out. The 92 of Ed Jurgen wants to get in on this dance. I think this is the one thing that does make me excited about the Roval format, that there are just enough opportunities, to really get wound up on speed that you can make those passes. It's not like a normal road course where, you have to wait for a specific moment. As now Ed Jurgen drives right on by Dennis Kane and Lee Campbell takes back his position.
Yeah, and you can see just going into that first, I don't know what to really call it, the chicane, bus stop, whatever there on the front stretch. You can see those rotors on that car absolutely glowing bright red. It shows you how fast they try to get down to that speed to get through there.
Jurgen and Campbell really going at it here, coming toward NASCAR turn 1.
Yeah, and later on in this race, we'll see this is a prime spot for some people to try to make up a spot. They'll try to push it as deep into that corner as they can and might even accidentally take someone out.
We've seen it so many times. I saw Keselowski do it. I saw Chase Elliott do it. Nobody is immune to overdriving into that rear bus stop.
Yeah, and I mean I mean, you could end up in a situation too on the front stretch, just like Jimmy Johnson and Martin Truex Jr. That one year where Jimmy overcooked it and slid through it and took out the rear end of Martin Truex. And then Martin Truex was going from literally like yards away from the start finish line for Ryan Blaney to come through and get his first one.
Here we are, 13 laps in the books. John Ross, your race leader. He's followed by Andrew Teft, Rob Yost, Shay Cox, Troy Thomas, Ed Jurgen, Lee Campbell, Dennis Kane, Brendan Wilcox, and Nash Pointer. And all of a sudden, Leroy Koblenz deciding he's had enough and it's time to come down pit road. Here comes the 42.
Yeah, so we should be seeing a lot of other guys taking this as well soon. It's going to be tricky to figure out like what you're actually going to need throughout this race too, just because, I mean, you can run a full lap 110% and burn up stuff a lot quicker, or run it a little slower, give up time and save a little bit. There's a ton of different options, more so than on, say, a Roval or a Oval.
Koblenz out of Dover, Delaware, the first state, and of course a neighbor to Jordan and I here. But Koblenz just came down for fuel only. I don't get that.
Yeah, you want tires. I mean, you don't want, I mean, unless he thinks that he can stretch it a little bit more and maybe try to gain a little bit, I'm not sure.
I don't know what he's going to gain. I have no idea what he's going to gain. I'm watching this. Right now, just 4 drivers have come down pit road. Ed Jurgen, Diego Rodriguez, Leroy Koblenz, and Kensley Smith. Kensley Smith came down on 9. Koblenz, of course, we just watched here on 12. And then on lap 2, Diego and Ed Jurgen both came down. I'm curious about this choice as we work lap number 15. Julia saying, let's go, honey, cheering on the number 43. Let's see where he is. That's Alex Teft in the Family Dollar Toyota Camry.
And let me tell you, Alex Teft almost pulled off what I like to call the triple-triple. 3 back-to-back-to-back finishes in the 3rd place position. He missed it by 0.07 coming to the line, and I can tell you now I was the biggest Alex Teft fan there. I was just praying he could get past Rowan Lloyd there at the start-finish line, and as I say that, he grabs the wall. But man, I was just hoping he could pull that off.
Alex Teft is one of those drivers that we never see him give up, you know. I mean, even here being what would be the lucky dog, you know, should we have actually had cautions tonight, I mean, we're going to see him still be digging. And right now, it's 12 cars on the lead lap. Matt Mettler, the last car on the lead lap, and he would be next on the menu for John Ross as he is gobbling up asphalt and distance here at the Charlotte Roval. Dave Regal and Jordan Brockell with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. We'll be right back after these messages.
Masker can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover outside. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom. Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh my
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back to the Charlotte Roval. We want to welcome everybody into the YouTube.com live chat and, of course, the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth just outside the city of Brotherly Love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You're watching the Racers Elite Next Gen Cup Series live from Charlotte Motor Speedway here at the Roval. And I'll tell you what, Jordan, we've been watching John Ross dominate tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's practically in a totally different zip code. I'd say he's probably already in South Carolina at this point. 34-second lead, about to be close to a 35-second lead. And, I mean, it takes him a minute and 23 to get around this place, a minute and 22, considering, tires and everything like that. So, I mean, at this point, 19 laps in, 30 seconds. I mean, by the time we hit close to the end of this thing, he could be knocking on the back door of, Andrew Teft himself.
Well, Andrew Teft right now is 36 seconds behind Ross. Ross just seems to be getting faster and faster and pulling away from Andrew Teft. I mean, I would be curious, and it would not be the first time in my career here on the microphone where we see somebody just absolutely annihilate the field and leave just one or two cars along with them on the lead lap. John Ross leading Andrew Teft, Troy Thomas, Rob Yost, and Lee Campbell. Let's take a look here first at Alan Bergen. Looks like he may have bought the big one. Let's see. Watch the 0-0 of Alan Bergen come out of NASCAR Turn 2. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He locks him up trying to get out of everybody's way and does more damage. Oh, good Lord. Watch the 41 go bouncing through the bus stop. And now we'll go to Lee Campbell. Now watch Lee Campbell here in the 60. He was just side by side. Oh, good God. Well, perhaps I'll be coming down to Maryland sooner than I had originally thought in my life. Usually it's just a pass-through, but apparently I am going to be required to go to Baltimore and sing songs from Hairspray.
Oh, I hear you. It's a fun time down in Baltimore sometimes. Not always.
Do they still have the ESPN zone down there or no?
I think the ESPN zone is part of the Hard Rock area, and I'm not sure that it's still there.
Hey mama, everybody's grooving to a brand new sound. It's just a catchy little tune. So let go, go, go of the past now. See, at least if you're going to have a musical about your state, city, town, at least have catchy songs.
Yeah, and I mean, can we talk about how like it's crazy that John Travolta pulled off what he did?
He was
like,
a fabulous Mrs. Turnblad.
Like that's like I don't know very many people that could pull that off and like make it work. I mean, then again, the Wayans brothers did White Chicks, but I feel like that's completely different.
It was a different connotation, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, certainly.
Whoa, 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 whoa. See, now it's going to be stuck in my head all night. That's going to be great for tomorrow morning, wandering into work, singing show tunes. People are going to wonder about me. There's only two kind of guys that like show tunes this much, and I'm not a paratrooper. "22 laps in the books. John Ross in full control here, and something tells me, Jordan, that barring any kind of catastrophe, we're going to see John Ross in victory lane tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's a race for second place for the rest of the rest. Just because, I mean, he has this place down. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like the one he had circled on the calendar.
I mean, look, if you're going to be good somewhere, be good somewhere like this where you can, dominate, separate yourself from the rest of the field, get that win under your belt, and punch your ticket to the playoffs nice and early here in the season. Shay Cox running back here in sixth position. He's got the 42 of Leroy Kolblitz in front of him. That's a lap car. And right now, the 7 of Shay Cox in the Pioneers Ford Mustang, holding his own right now. And a nice mix of manufacturers here atop the pile as we go here to the car logos on the left side. A pair of blue ovals, a pair of bow ties, and a circular T. I don't... A silver T? Silver bells. I don't know what to make of. I know that it's a T. I get it. It looks like a Venn diagram, but kind of like a cowboy hat. Just gonna leave me hang out there, huh? All right.
Sorry about that. I was.
No, don't be sorry. Just don't let it happen again. We're just watching Dennis Kane run here in 8th position, trying to chase down Nash Pointer. Nash. That's a name. Nash.
Nash.
Saw a lady today. I think I finally saw someone who might be Angelica Pickle's mother.
Oh, boy.
She literally talked out of one side of her face. Like she wasn't like, a victim of like a stroke or anything like that. It was just, and of course, I'm not a grown-up.
No, and it's one of those things, I feel like I do that often. I find someone, you're like, oh, they look like such and such. Like there's this one guy on TikTok that like does, I don't know how I end up on this side of TikTok, but like it's just this dude who has really fast arm movements. And, like, he can grab a lighter off the table and it just looks like it disappears. And he's had like the timers and stuff on the camera, so like it shows that it's not like sped up or anything like that. But he looks like the dude from One Punch, and like I don't watch anime that hardcore, but I know like who certain characters are, and this guy dead on looks like One Punch. And it's kind of weird.
Here's one for you. Not that I wasn't paying full attention, but 5 drivers now down pit road, and John Ross came down and got pit service without even blinking. And now John Ross with a set of fresh tires is just going to annihilate the field. And as we see so many times in these Racers Elite Series races, they're going to be able to do this on one stop and one stop alone.
Yeah, I mean, he's already stretched it out to a 45-second lead here. And like I said, he's basically on another planet at this point. I mean, I don't know what... I mean, unless he has one of those catastrophic screw-ups and noses himself into the turn 1 wall. I don't see this being crazy.
Truth Hoke and Matt Metler now coming down pit road. The double nickel and the 311 each going to get 4 tires in a tank and go fast. They don't really... Why bother trying to gain positions right now when your race leader is already beating the second place driver by 45 and greater seconds? Dennis Kane is 1 minute and 22 seconds behind him. Here's Dennis Kane. There's our race leader. Dennis Kane is next up on the menu.
Yeah, and I mean, it's over half the field already, and I mean, I think it's just gonna continue to slow down. I mean, it's only a handful of seconds. I mean, can't even say a full second. I think it's like, I don't even know, like half a second behind him right now. And that's just because he's gotta go through the bus stop here. But everyone else is like within that same kind of time frame to being lapped. So here in the next couple of laps, I mean, he could lap all the way up to 5th place.
And lap he does. Here's John Ross, Andrew Teft, Troy Thomas, Ed Jurgen, and Rob Yost Jr. 20 laps to go from here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Oh, there goes Dennis Kane around. That'll make it easy for John Ross to slide by. He and Nash Pointer. And now Shay Cox is next for John Ross. Good Lord, that could not have been more horrifying.
You know, and that's you don't want to have that happen around your crew either. So it's one of those things. Now you got to think: is it worth it to push as hard as you are? I mean, of course, he's probably thinking to himself, like, dude, I could lap the whole field. It would be monumental, but is it worth it?
I think if you look in the YouTube.com live chat, the Allen Experience has a really great analysis of what's going on here tonight. John Ross in the 44 leads Andrew Teft by 45 and now more seconds. Troy Thomas by 54. Ed Jurgen by a minute. And Shay Cox right here. John Ross right there. What do you think the over-under is for cars left on the lead lap when the checkers fly?
I feel like, I was going to say that it would just be Andrew Teft, but, I mean, I don't even know if I can say that confidently now. I truly don't. I would say the over. We'll put it at 4. Over under 4, or I guess we'd have to do 3.5. I'd say 3.5, including himself.
A poll question from one of our fans. It's not really an official poll question, but here it is. Does beer fix everything?
I mean, unless you're Allen drinking Budweiser, I think it does.
I'm going to assume that the beer consumed in this particular question is Miller Lite. Just a guess.
For me?
No, just in this question. I mean, anything but something made by Anheuser-Busch. Does beer...
I mean, I think Miller Lite fixes everything.
I mean, I've got Yingling Flight in the fridge.
I think that fixes everything too.
It does.
As long as, Budweiser.
Well,
I think there's a reason
from our
why,
poster, from our poster in all caps, capital E, triple W, Budweiser.
Yeah.
It's Yingling. Now the question is it lager or is it flight? It's lager. The follow-up question was already the follow-up answer was already preloaded before the follow-up question was there.
Now, see, if we get into liquor, that causes more problems than it helps.
Have you seen the hat on the TikTok shop? Eat something like an apple fritter?
No.
What rhymes with fritter? Just keep it to yourself. What rhymes with fritter that you might eat?
To be honest, I don't know.
I'll text it to you.
Okay. I'm just sitting here like,
And
I was like-
apparently, tequila.
oh,
You got it now.
oh.
Let's
Yeah.
just make sure.
There.
I'm just gonna check. Just check.
Well,
Switching over to the old DM machine.
I'm pretty sure I'm on point with this right now. Yes, sir. We're on the same page. Had to hit the mute button on that one.
Just saying. $17 to go for John Ross to wrap things up and go on home. Not only is he going to beat everybody to the beer stand, actually, it looks like Kensley Smith and Alan Bergen, Aaron Marquis, they've all decided to hang it up for the night. Diego Rodriguez just registered as having crashed, and Diego Rodriguez is my new favorite driver in Tuesday Night NASCAR Truck Series action, as his team owner, Tane Hodison, repainted all of their trucks for Mahoney buns. Wow, look at him bite the dust.
But look, I'd give him some
He kept it
style.
right off the wall, too. Proud of
You
you.
ruined the points. It's like he almost spun it around and kept going. I would have given him style points for that.
Five cars left on the lead lap. And
Yeah,
Shay
and
Cox
Rob
just did it again. He's running in sixth position. Here's Shay Cox in the 7. Watch that natural come here out of the chicane or out of the carousel to go up the hill. Ooh, he bit the curb early. That's not going to be good for the dark horse.
Certainly not. And I mean, we're getting to that territory where Rob Yost is even getting close to being the next victim here.
Just got a text from Alan Bergen. Let's read this. He is a rolling roadblock. We know.
I'd say he's more than a rolling roadblock at this point. I mean, he's a freaking bull in a china shop when it came to Lee Campbell.
You know what? Here's the thing, though. Alan's heart is in the right place. He wants to do so well, and then dumb things happen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I still got to mess with Alan. I can't be nice to him. If I'm nice to him, he's going to be like, hey, buddy, are you all right?
15 laps to go. We're going to step aside and pay some bills on Sim Racing Media. I'm Dave Regal. He's Jordan Brockell, and this is the Racers Elite Next Gen Cup Series.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom. Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh my
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Apromitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway. John Ross still controlling this field with just 4 cars now left on the lead lap. Ed Jurgen here in the 92. He follows John Ross by now 1 minute 13 seconds. So Ross, who's laying down about a minute and 22 second laps, he's got 12 laps to see if he can make up those 9 seconds that are between himself and Ed Jurgen. Jordan Brockell and Dave Regal with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth just outside the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We're glad to be with you tonight. We want to thank you for welcoming us into your homes, onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. Jesse Fox checking in saying, hey guys, how's it going tonight? I'll tell you what, Jesse, it is not going bad, if that's what you're asking.
Jesse Fox had a pretty good showing there on Tuesday night as well, getting a top 10. So, seen a lot of people getting, these fields are starting to mix up a lot more in just about every league across the Racers Elite.
12 laps to go. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Here's Ed Jurgen coming into the carousel, and here's John Ross just a stone's throw away, now coming into the carousel.
Yeah, and he's not far off from, Ed Jurgen's not far off from Troy Thomas. So, I mean, we're getting dangerously close here. I mean, Andrew Teff might be the only guy left on the lead lap here.
In the words of Poppy from the Dan Le Batard show with Stugatz, see, I'm very intrigued. You know, it's one thing that really broke my heart when we went to Miami. They had already moved out of the Clevelander Hotel. And I really wanted to go nerd out at the Clevelander, which, of course, is home of ESPN South Beach. But when they flipped the bird to ESPN, ESPN said, okay, that's fine. Get out of our studios. Bye. Now, of course, the Dan Le Batard show with Stugatz is part of Meadowlark Media.
I meant to tell you that I have the perfect design idea for a T-shirt for you for when we go to Miami, and John thought it was pretty hilarious as well. And let's see if I can scroll up through here. It's not anything bad. I think it's actually.
I feel like we may have discussed it.
We may have, but I didn't send it to you.
You did not.
But I just sent it to you. It says, "If I'm alone, I'm lost."
That seems about right. That seems
Slapper
about
there
right.
on the back of the T-shirt, and everybody, we'll probably have to put John's phone number on it. And be like, call this number if I'm alone.
Yeah, if you see me with my credit card out at a stand without supervision, please come gather me. Wait till you have the hot dogs at the racetrack. Okay? They have now. I am a traditionalist when it comes to the tube steak. I generally just like some mustard, onions, a little sauerkraut on there, right? But
Yeah.
they have it's some kind of Cuban type name hot dog, and it's got pineapple and julienne fries on it. Oh my God.
I'm always down to try it. I think anything. I mean, I think anything with a hot dog is pretty damn good.
The pineapple makes the meat so sweet.
Yeah, I've heard that does that pretty often. I bet it does taste pretty good.
It's delicious. Rob Yost Jr. just bought a little off-track time. Let's see what happened with him. Oh, can he hold on to it? Can he hold on to it? Might be taking this a little wide. Holding, setting up. Not so much. This isn't going to go well. Oh.
Just a little bit too much speed through there and carries himself off the track.
Here's Troy Thomas in the 3. There's John Ross. Still 4 cars on the lead lap, and John Ross looking to make it 3.
Yeah, at this point, John Ross is just thinking to himself, like, ooh, I can get to... He's definitely got to be thinking, I can get at least a third.
Have you ever had a pedicure?
I have not.
Is
that the foot?
Yeah, that's a foot.
I have not. I mean, I haven't had a manicure either, but...
Well, going again for the second... I'm going for the second time to get a pedicure on Saturday. Let me tell you, it is, if you've never had it done, spend the money to do it. Worth it. Every bit. It's like spoiling your Tootsies.
Yeah, I mean, see, I kind of do it myself. I get a little bit of that toe hurting. I just cut up the nail. Not as much as I need.
Nah, they take a cheese grater to your feet.
Oh, now see, that sounds...
I didn't know if I should scream in pain or exhale in ecstasy. I didn't know what to do. I felt a little bit like Ricky Bobby is, look, here we go, the 44, now putting the 3 down a lap. Now there were 3 left on the lead lap. John Ross, Andrew Teft, and Ed Jurgen. Now here's John Ross, here's Ed Jurgen. Ed Jurgen's next up on the menu with 8 laps to go.
I mean, it's going to be kind of insane. I mean, could you imagine being on the podium, but you finished a lap down?
I'll tell you what, watching this race tonight has just been interesting. First off, I've never seen anybody lay laps down like John Ross has. I mean, I've seen from Bell Buckle, Tennessee. He even has like a cool town name to be from.
Yeah, I mean, that's like being named Chuck Norris. Walker, Texas Ranger.
Walker. Like, I feel like if you name your child 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, into the bus stop we go. I feel like if you name your child Walker, you've already set him up to be some kind of cool, kick-ass dude.
No, there's one name that I will say you set him up to be a kick-ass dude, and it's from NASCAR. Lawless Allen.
Ooh.
Like, imagine just being like Lawless Allen. Like, it sounds like you're a badass Western dude. Like, it sounds like they call you Lawless just because, like, it's like that pre-name to your actual name.
John Ross getting ready to go after Ed Jurgen. Ed Jurgen, we can see him up here just in front of that's the 20, that's Diego Rodriguez. I mean, at this point, Jurgen's got to be sweating bullets. He doesn't want to be put down a lap.
Yeah, but I mean, certainly I feel like he's got to be the closest to not being put a lap down just because of the fact that, I mean, he's got over a full lap on the entire field. I mean, he doesn't have a lot to lose.
Look out his rear view mirror. Mullica Hill, New Jersey's Ed Jurgen looks out the rear view and can see nothing but Diego Rodriguez and John Ross. He is scurrying away like a cockroach in light.
110%. Because I mean, it's one of those bittersweet things. You can say you finished third, but you're a lap down.
John Ross leading us with 5 laps to go. Jordan, we see this oftentimes at places like this where, some of those traditional mile and a halves, like, Phoenix, sometimes you can watch somebody really step away from the field. But road courses, I feel like, are such a specific skill set in racing that this is where you do get those wizards.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, especially since this car came out, we've seen a lot more of those road course wizards, ringers, all the different names that are there for those. As Ross looks to the inside of Jurgen, going to put the first of the top 3 a lap down. And it's... Excuse me, still fighting a little bit of a cold there. But now it's like, can he make up 14 seconds in 5 laps to get to Andrew Tech? I mean, I don't think he's going to push that hard, but I could imagine he could get it done. It's just one of those things. He doesn't have a ton to gain from getting there, but it's just one of those, like, you had a lap up on the entire field.
Very true.
Like, I think next race here, they should start John Ross a lap down and see if he can get back to the lead. Be an interesting thing to see.
Tomorrow night may be the most boring sports night of the week. Just looking for anything on the schedule here. I got nothing.
So Friday nights are fine with me.
No, I got nothing here. I mean,
what I got is the Racers Elite Super Speedway Series tomorrow night, starting at 9 o'clock.
There's nothing going on in the world of sports.
I feel like that's where we need like the ESPN Ocho, where you have random things that don't make sense. Like ping pong or wheelchair basketball or any of them.
Yeah, just looking for... The AHL doesn't start until Saturday night. The ECHL doesn't start until next week. Good Lord. Yeah, the ECHL doesn't start until next Saturday. Huh. It's kind of depressing. The Phillies lose. There's nothing else to watch. 2 cars left on the lead lap. Andrew Teft is it. We've got two, at the line, it's going to be 2 laps. And as John Ross rolls out of the front chicane, he crosses the start-finish line. The popsicle sticks are in the air. We're 2 laps to go. I think Andrew Teft may be the only one to win this game of Survivor tonight as far as staying on the lead lap, because John Ross has lapped everybody but him. And I think they're separated by just a hair too much.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at probably needing to get about 9 seconds in 2 laps, which, I mean, it's John Ross. With how he's been running, I could definitely see him getting there.
John Ross in the 44 has been dominant all night long. We're taking a look at him now going down the back chute into the bus stop. I mean, John Ross has led every lap of this race. He qualified on the pole. Andrew Teft, the only driver to gain a spot and not be lapped. Troy Thomas, he's our biggest mover of the race, in 4th position, but down a lap. He came up 10. And Ed Jurgen, who qualified on the front row alongside of John Ross, he goes down. But right now, as we cross the start-finish line, the popsicle sticks are down, the white flag is in the air, and we're racing back to checkers.
Yeah, and I mean, this is as dominant can be here tonight. I mean, the only thing, and the fact that this is the only thing I could say that would make it a more dominant race is if he could get to Andrew Teft. Other than that, there is literally nothing this man can do to make this a more dominant race.
And then I thought I'd go check out Reagan, and that's not in the theater anymore.
I couldn't tell you the last time I've been to a movie theater.
I wanted to see Reagan.
I do not, I mean, since all the streaming platforms, could not tell you the last time that I went to a movie theater. But you know, certainly John Ross has already been to a movie theater here tonight, as he's been looking out that windshield watching the same song and dance, same show all night long, as clear in front of him or someone that is not racing for a position. So he comes off that, I almost said turn 4. I mean, he did come off turn 4, but shoots through that little chicane there, comes through, going to grab that checker flag. He's going to win here in a dominant fashion from the Roval. And honestly, again, I don't see how this man could possibly have a more dominant performance unless he were to have gotten to Andrew Teft and lapped him. Otherwise, not a single thing more he could have done.
John Ross already jumping out of the car. Everybody else still has to get off of the race surface. I mean, he was just dominant from start to finish tonight. I can't wrap my brain around all this.
Yeah, and Andrew Teft's going to be the only one out there still trying to finish the race.
Yeah, he still has to finish that lap.
So, I mean, it's insane to think that everybody else is done because they were a lap down, but Andrew Teft has got to find his way all the way around here one more time.
Well, we're going to move Andrew Teft up here to the waiting room. We've got to find John Ross and Ed Jurgen. Looking for him. Ed Jurgen, yell if you know where you are.
Ed Jurgen's already in our waiting room.
And we got to find John Ross.
Why not bring John Ross up into our waiting room as well?
Do you see him?
Yes, I do. He should be in the waiting room now. John Ross, it's the boys in the booth. You got a copy?
I have a copy.
Dude, honestly, be real with me. How bored are you tonight?
No, it's never boring because there's a couple little tricky spots on this track, especially on the infield. If you touch the wall there, it can break a toe link, and there's a couple little things hitting the bus stops just right, and so there's always a little bit of danger here, but I certainly felt comfortable here.
I'd say comfortable is an understatement here. I mean, you lapped all the way up till Andrew Teft, and you were certainly hunting him down. I mean, he only finished a couple of seconds ahead of you, I can't even say ahead of you. It just sounds so weird to say he finished a couple seconds ahead of you because you were hunting him down to lap him. But I mean, what goes through your mind when you look at this now and see everyone a lap down but yourself and Andrew Teft?
Well, a couple of things. Obviously, I seen him on the relative, when we were, I think it was about 5 laps ago. I could see him on the relative. And, a couple of things, especially at road courses that, you're so focused on making sure that you hit your marks and get the power down, especially in the Nextgen, because it likes to chatter the tires. And the second it does that, it wants to spin out on you. So I was definitely watching that just to make sure that everything was okay, getting in and out of the pits. I wanted to make sure that was good. And yeah, when I seen that he was in front of me, and I seen Ed, I think with about 10 laps to go was in front of me. My whole goal was just, make sure that you keep it on the track, don't spin it out, and just run your lap times.
Yeah, and I mean, run lap times certainly is what you did. I honestly don't even know how far your times fell off, because I feel like every time I looked at it, you were still in the 122s, 123s. Other people falling all the way back to like the 126s and 127. So, I mean, is this one of those tracks that, whatever series you race in, is this always one of those ones that you have circled and are prepared for?
Sometimes, I'm not a big road guy. I'm more of an oval guy, but especially in the next gen car, I do a lot of practicing at the road courses just to make sure, because it's normally on people's schedules. So, that's one thing for sure. And the other part of it, we don't take tires in here. We just get fuel and go. And I think that certainly helps just a little bit, because you don't have to give those couple laps, 3 or 4 laps for the tires to wear back in. And I do think that there were some 21s out there tonight, even some high 20s, but we decided to keep it safe. And, we had such a good lead, we didn't want to push it.
Yeah, well, I mean, a big lead is an understatement as well. Again, very modest of you. But, with having such a dominant performance, certainly you have some people that you want to shout out and thank for this performance.
Yeah, as always, I have to thank the Sim Motion team, and Leroy. He had a kind of a tough night tonight, but he's always in the chat, certainly helping me out and telling me how far ahead I am, what I'm at in fuel when he's in the pit. So I certainly want to give a shout out to him, and to the sponsor Sim Motion. So if you need anything sim racing related, they have it. Just go to their website. Code 802 will give you 5% off. To you all in the booth every week, I certainly enjoy going back and watching them. So we thank everything that you do, and Andrew for putting this league on, man. This is a fantastic league. It's a great start to the season. Thank goodness we have a solid start to the season, and I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah, certainly a solid start to the season. 2 wins out of 3 starts, and maybe, just maybe, we'll be talking to you next week again, brother.
Let's hope so.
Thank you for that, as always, Jordan. John Ross, a great finish tonight here for himself, but now the only other driver to finish on the lead lap, our chief cook and bottle washer here in the Racers Elite Cup Series, Andrew Teft out of Hope Valley, Rhode Island. Hey, Andrew, it's Dave. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Buddy, listen, I mean, you gave it all you got, but I mean, John Ross was just way too much, way too long tonight.
Yeah, this is definitely his house. I saw how quick he was in practice. My only goal was to just kind of do all the laps and try to keep it on the track, and I managed to do that at least, and not allow him to lap the field.
Yeah, I mean, that was all I was curious about. I mean, I've only seen one other race on the iRacing servers where just one car finished on the lead lap. So I was hoping that this wasn't going to kind of edge in on that particular record. But I mean, overall tonight, you had a great run. It seemed like, just not enough for John Ross. What are you thinking about as we head into next week? And obviously, we want to quickly close the chapter on this.
I'm thankful to have a good finish tonight. I had a dismal couple first races, so I think I was down to 14th or something in the standings. But yeah, this will help out a lot. And then coming up on some more 1.5 mile type tracks and Phoenix, and probably a little bit more predictable, I would say, versus the last couple weeks where we had Talladega and now the Roval. Just looking to stay steady and keep myself in the chase picture.
Yeah, I mean, we've only got a few more races. It's funny. I feel like, we always say this. We've only got a few more races before the chase, but I mean, after this week, just 4 more before the end of the regular season. And, I think that that's what keeps this league exciting, at least for me. It's a short regular season. It's, a short playoff, and it makes the racing that much more intense. You guys do a great job with this, and I want to say congratulations on that and getting good fields every week here in the Racers Elite Next Gen Cup Series. Before we cut you loose, who do you need to thank and who helps you get it done on the 98 team?
Yeah, first off, congrats to John. That was obviously an awesome performance, complete domination. Want to thank SRM for putting on the shows, and everybody that tunes in to watch, shows up to race. Our servicemen and women, my family, and my team. And if anybody's interested in checking us out, just head on over to racerselite.com. You can find all of our info there, Discord invites, schedules, standings, the whole 9 yards. Just get in touch with me on Discord, and we'll get you all set up.
All right, my friend, listen, congratulations again on the P2 lead lap finish, and we will see you next week at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Yep, thanks, guys.
And last but certainly not least on the podium, Jordan, I believe you have him down on pit road now, Ed Jurgen.
Ed Jurgen, it's boys in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you. How you doing?
Hey, so, I mean, you get the podium, you get 3rd place, but it comes with being a lap down, and certainly that's got to feel both sweet but also bitter at the same time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm actually kind of glad where I got to. I had a meatball on the 2nd lap. I had to go in and get it fixed. And I had to go from all the way to the back and come all the way around.
Oh, so you yourself even had that big of an adversity to overcome. So I mean that in itself, I guess that takes that bitter away for that. Having a meatball on lap 2 to come all the way back to finish P3.
Yeah, I mean, I barely touched the wall, and it said I had damage. It was running fine, and then all of a sudden the meatball popped up. I was like, really?
Must be that early first couple of weeks that we had the Next Gen and IRL where they were breaking the toe links every time they just tapped the wall. You must have gotten one of those cheap toe links back there.
Yeah, it was odd, but yeah, no, I'm happy. I had to go all the way to the back, so because I had to pit, and coming through the field was fun, but I wish I could have been up there with John.
Yeah, so do you feel that had that not happened to you, you could have been any kind of opponent for him tonight? I mean, with what he did.
Yeah, I think he was definitely faster than me. But I would have made it interesting at least. I think I would hope anyway.
Yeah, I hear you. So next week we go to Las Vegas, so now you get to go and kind of put this behind you, and then go take on Vegas, and does it really take anything for you to kind of put this behind you and, realize that, you had to face John Ross at the Roval and get, completely, dominated? I mean, is it easy for you to throw that to the back of the head?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, you just got to wipe it clean and come back to next week.
All right. Well, certainly still a good finish, and I mean, one lap, it shouldn't be a big of a problem, especially at a road track like this, and coming from the back from a meatball. So I mean, certainly an amazing performance, but you certainly had to have someone, that you want to thank and everything for that performance you had in the '92 car.
Yeah, thank you guys, Sim Racing Media, for putting on a good show every week. Racers Lead Andrew, he runs a good ship here, and my wife and my son for sponsoring my car.
All right, brother. Well, again, thank you for your time, and certainly look forward to talking to you in the future.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thanks.
That the voice, of course, of our third place finisher, Ed Jurgen, who comes home tonight on the podium, but not on the lead lap, which is something, quite frankly, we never see. Just plain and simple, we don't see it. It never happens where our third place finisher doesn't finish on the same lap as our race winner. Before we get out of here tonight, of course, we want to take a quick peek at our final results. John Ross comes home here on the top of the podium with the checkered flag in hand. He's joined by Andrew Teft and Ed Jurgen. Troy Thomas and Nash Pointer finish in 4th and 5th, rounding out your top 5, while Rob Yost and Dennis Kane come home 6th and 7th. Lee Campbell, Shay Cox, and Brendan Wilcox come home in finishing out your top 10. Diego Rodriguez comes home in 11th with Truth Hoke in 12th. Matt Metler goes home 13th, while 14th goes to Leroy Koblenz. William Skinner and Kirby Wainscott come 15th and 16th with Alex Teft, Aaron Marquis, Alan Bergen, Kensley Smith, and Dave Mayberry finishing dead last on the field. Somebody had to do it, and of course tonight it happens to be Dave Mayberry. And for myself, Dave Regal, and my broadcast partner extraordinaire, Mr. Jordan Brockel, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and making us a part of their evening right here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth on Sim Racing Media. And tomorrow and every day as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.